Howdy guys, I'm here today to give you an update on some knife sharpening. You remember a while back when we did a review on the Lansky sharpeners and tips for the woodsman about what a great unit it is. A little bit bulky, but when you need to get a great edge on a knife, it's hard to beat the Lansky sharpening unit. Just a little quick review on that. We simply hold the blade in the holder, tighten it down. They've got a neat little stand that you can put it on, locking it in place, and then with whatever grit stone that we want, we choose the appropriate angle, and then we proceed to sharpen the knife. Kind of tighten these down a little bit. There we go. Then we can sharpen the knife, and this puts a real razor edge on the knife, which anytime we're dealing with knives, the only knife that's worthwhile is one that's razor sharp. But due to the bulk and size and stuff of it, I'm always on the prowl for additional products that may do a good job in a pinch in the field. And I bought a few of them over the years. I thought I'd kind of give you the good, the bad, and the worthless. This is kind of a nice one made by United. Gives you a really trick carbon fiber housing and a nice handle by which to grab. But in terms of sharpening the knife, it's pretty ridiculous. It just scores. Got a coarse and a fine stone here, and an extremely coarse setup here that just chews the heck out of the blade. And you take a knife that's dull and you make it worse by running it through this thing. I just have no use for it at all. This is kind of an ingenious design by Meyer Co., designed by world-renowned knife maker Blackie Collins. It's got a neat little push button deal to take it out and hold it by. You've got different grit stones and stuff here that you can sharpen with. Push it to the other side, and we've got finer stones. Take it all the way out, and then we have kind of a little mock sharpening steel here that, that we can use to get the knife blade into a little bit better shape. Very ingenious design, but again, doesn't work as well as I would like to. Leaves the blade kind of scored and serrated without really putting a good razor edge on it. The next one that I thought was kind of trick was a little sharpener by the folks at Gerber. It's got a coarse steel in it and then a fine one. It's really small, fits in my pack, and I thought, wow, you know, this could be a pretty good idea just to touch up my knife if I'm skinning an elk or field dressing stuff. It does a reasonable job. Definitely not as good as the Lansky, but it will touch up the edge for you. A real problem with this type of thing is holding on to it. They've got the little thumb and finger grooves there that you can hold on to while you drag your knife through it. Make sure that you've got a good firm grip on it. If your hands are really cold and you have a hard time with coordination there, this may not be the best tool for you. Keep that sharp edge away from you. Make sure and draw the knife nice and straight through it, getting the appropriate angle on the blade. Small, reasonably effective, the best of the three that we've demonstrated there. This is kind of a neat little deal. Picked this up at one of the trade shows. The gentleman was demonstrating it. We'll give you a close-up on the teeth. You can see that it's a carbide insert there that's held in place by the aluminum finger housing, and it basically shaves the blade to the proper geometry there. Puts a respectable edge on it, but by no means as good as the Lansky. You'll simply set your knife up and in this fashion draw it across it, trying to restore the edge, and it cuts pretty well. You know, make sure that you're supported with the knife and then drag it over the edge as I'm demonstrating here, and it will reform the edge in a hurry. It's nice and small, and simply by dragging it you can see that it's not putting a lot of score marks or serrations onto the blade. You can come back up again and then touch it up quickly with the Lansky in a hurry. So, little bit of an update there. I'm always on the prowl for things. As I mentioned earlier, if I find something that I really like, you can be guaranteed I'll be back to share it with you. I'm Darrell Holland, and that's your update for the month.